Hello. So I have decided to make a video series or something because I don't know where to start, but essentially I've been going through a really horrible time with my health at the moment, and it's not that I am suffering with anything serious or life-threatening or endangering my life in any way, but what I am dealing with is chronic and horrific and hellish and fucked up in every way. And I have been dealing with it since the beginning of February, and it's coming up to the end of March, which on the grand scheme of things actually doesn't sound too long, but I forgot to say what it is. So it's two vestibular disorders, one being vestibular neuritis. I still don't really fully understand it, but it is something to do with, I think, the nerves in my left inner ear being inflamed, and it means that I have vertigo and dizziness, and I'm unsteady, and I feel the worst kind of drunk all day, every day. And then on top of that as well, I also have vestibular migraines, which apparently totally exacerbate vestibular neuritis and kind of make the whole thing as much as a big mess as it freaking well feels like. But yeah, I kind of wanted this first video to be about what having a vestibular disorder looks like, feels like, not looks like, because I'm not necessarily going to show you what it looks like, but like what it means in my everyday life, going from somebody who did not have it to somebody who does have it, and also it being I'm hoping and I'm praying to absolutely anyone and anything out there, and I'm a non-believer that that it can heal. I think that my migraines are just really complicating it because they kind of don't. I definitely think they're kind of stress induced somewhat, and then they kind of boom affect the other bit. I want to make lots of videos, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of videos. Main reasons being that it's been even though it's only been, well, I'd say 2 months, which is too long, but it's been 2 months, with almost no let up. Because of that, because I already feel like I've been through it, I wanted to do this for myself, just to get it out there, to kind of go back over my journey, and also to be able to kind of look forward. And if on the small off chance there's anybody else in the same exact situation, my situation is quite specific because I know that with kind of inner ear disorders and things like that, there's all sorts, and yeah, mine is quite specific. So just in case there's anybody in this boat, there are so many different kinds. And yeah, I really hope that if you are suffering with some kind of vestibular issue, especially if it's something that is, happened to you for the first time and you're kind of grieving your old life and all that, that you can get the help and support you need. I believe that there is so much support out there. It just seems like what this has felt like is, I'm somebody that loves to plan. I love to plan and I love to organize. And this has turned me into a complete disorganized mess. And I hate it. Like, I can't. I really struggle to do most things at the moment, like even just put one thought in front of another. I'm getting a tiny bit of mental clarity currently, and this is kind of why I'm able to make this video. But I want to make loads, because what I would love, the outcome that I hope for more than anything else, is a series where I can show improvement along the way and kind of tell you how it started. Hopefully not to instill fear in people, because I've been down those rabbit holes and that has been horrific. But especially if you're somebody who's already anxious anyway, you just don't need that. But I feel like a lot of this I've learned the hard way, which actually makes me really angry and resentful. And what I mean by learning the hard way is, outside of the absolutely incredible people in my personal life who've supported me, going through the healthcare system has not come without its obstacles. And I work for the NHS. I'm a massive NHS lover of the NHS. I've worked for the NHS for about 10 years. But it's got some faults. It's got some faults which really need working on. So I will kind of address them as well along the way, just in case you're kind of dealing with certain issues. And then also the lovely healthcare professionals who've been really lovely and really sweet, and kind of just what you need when you're going through something so shit and unrelenting. So in essence, I won't ramble for too much longer, but I just kind of wanted this first video to be me talking about what it's looked like for me. And sadly, it's very, very depressing. I am somebody who worries anyway. I'm a worrier. I tend to worry. I hate being ill. So I did not take to this like a duck to water by any means. But then kind of along this journey, I have discovered that even some of the most, people who don't typically worry or don't typically have health anxiety or anything like that are saying they would not wish this on their worst enemy. And it kind of makes me feel a bit more validated. But at the same time, just like, yeah, great. This is great. I mean, it's rubbish. So, what it has meant for me in terms of the negatives, and I have to be honest, it has mainly felt negative, is it has meant a lot of extremely dark thoughts, particularly in the first month or so. Particularly in the first month, where I just wanted to die. I just wanted to die because it just feels like life is not worth living with it. It really does. It's so unpleasant. There's nothing cool about it. It's shit. It's rubbish. So yeah, that's been a very sad reality of it. I have to say now that feeling is a lot less present, a lot less present. What I more get now is kind of moments of still panic and crying quite a lot, but I cry and then I panic because the crying flares up the migraine, and then I start to panic because it feels so weird. So it's kind of more of a kind of depressed, like getting very upset and panicky now. But I think part of that, part of why it has passed is possibly for multiple different factors. One being that I started on citalopram, not immediately, but almost immediately. The first 2 weeks that I was on it were pretty rubbish, and I think that is because you can kind of go worse before you feel better, and sadly that's what happened. So potentially, the citalopram is kind of helping that element of things, but also the other thing being that I don't think I've ever been to so many appointments in my life. I don't think I've ever been to so many appointments in my life. And if I don't see a doctor's office ever again, I will be delighted. But it's felt like, I know it's only been 2 months, and I know that for a lot of people getting diagnoses can take literally years and decades, which is quite crazy. But when you feel the worst and when you feel like life is not worth living anymore, you don't want to wait months to find out what's going on. But I know that is just the way that the cookie crumbles sometimes. So I think the curtains are kind of opening a little bit, and I'm seeing the wood from the trees a bit more now. And I think that's also part of the reason why I don't feel suicidal anymore. So yeah, I don't exactly know how I'm going to document it, but I have just so much to say, and it's quite possible that if anybody does see it and comment, it's quite possible that I might not look at comments for a couple of months, because I'm such a scaredy cat that if any poor soul comes in and tells me that they have been dealing with this for like 10 years or something, I know it's going to freak me out, which is really selfish of me. But at the end of the day, I kind of will probably look and see if anybody's commented a few months down the line when hopefully things are a bit better. So yeah, that's kind of my first video, and I don't really know how to do this, but yeah, like I said, I have so much to say that hopefully I don't want to make it overwhelming, because I think one of the worst things when you have got something like this going on is you just really do not want information overload. I can barely decide what to eat at the moment, so it's kind of it's yeah, it's crap. It's really so crap. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to say is one of the ways that I've been really affected by this is just not really seeing my friends, not really seeing them, largely because I am mentally so affected by it, and particularly if I go out, the symptoms get very triggered outside, because kind of your visual balance perspective is all messed up. So when you go outside, it's just like being on, not that I know actually what this feels like, but it's being on probably like some hallucinogenic drug. It is just the dumbest, crappiest feeling ever. And it understandably makes me feel sad. It just makes me feel so sad and scared, that I don't want my friends to see me like that. I just don't. It gives me no joy. And as a result, I'm just not really seeing my friends. I just feel so sorry for myself the whole time. I just don't want them to see me like it. And I know that sometimes when I pretend to be okay, when I'm really not feeling okay, it just kind of adds more stress to my body. So the realities of it are harsh. So it has felt. And apologies if this sounds like really negative on the grand scheme of all the kind of conditions people could have that are life-threatening. This is more kind of just debilitating, and I think if I don't let it out, it just builds up. And so I kind of, just wanted to talk about it, really. Hopefully not make people who watch feel worse. That's not the aim. I want this to become a series of hopeful videos. That's what I'm hoping. Maybe with the odd document of some difficult times along the way, which I actually really hope doesn't happen, but I want it to be positive for me and for people watching. So thank you so much for listening. And I hope this proves to be a useful set of videos.